Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you went there? Or started telling a story, only to completely lose your train of thought halfway through? Maybe someone's name disappears from your mind, even though you've known them for years. And afterward you wonder, is this normal? Am I just getting older? Or something wrong with my brain? If you keep losing your train of thought after 50, you're not alone. And despite what many people believe, this doesn't automatically mean you're developing dementia or losing your mind. In fact, there are several surprisingly common reasons why your thoughts seem to disappear more often after 50, and many of them have nothing to do with irreversible memory loss. Today, we're going to talk about what's really happening inside your brain, why these moments seem to happen more often as we age, and what you can do to help your mind feel clearer again. Why this feels so scary. For many adults over 50, losing your train of thought isn't just frustrating, it's frightening. Because every forgotten word, every interrupted sentence, every moment of mental blankness can trigger anxiety. You might think, my mother had dementia. What if this is how it starts? Am I becoming forgetful? And once fear enters the picture, something interesting happens. You begin paying attention to every little mistake. You notice every forgotten name, every misplaced item, every pause in conversation. Suddenly, your mind starts scanning for evidence that something is wrong. And ironically, anxiety itself makes concentration worse. The more worried you become, the harder it becomes to think clearly. It's like trying to remember something while someone is shouting in your ear. Your brain cannot focus when it's stuck in fear. And that's why occasional lapses can start feeling much bigger than they actually are. Your brain is processing differently after 50. Here's something many people don't realize. Your brain doesn't necessarily stop working well after 50. It simply works differently. Think of it like this. When you were younger, information moved quickly. Your brain could jump from one thought to another almost instantly. But as we age, the speed of retrieval slows slightly. That doesn't mean the memory is gone. It means your brain may need an extra second to find it, like opening a filing cabinet with thousands of folders. Sometimes the file is there. It just takes longer to locate. That's why names often come back to you 5 minutes later, or why you suddenly remember what you wanted to say after the conversation has already moved on. The information wasn't lost. It was delayed. And delayed recall is incredibly common after 50. Stress can make your brain feel older. Chronic stress changes how the brain functions. And many adults over 50 are carrying more stress than they realize. Financial concerns, retirement worries, health issues, aging parents, adult children, relationship changes, loss and grief. Even low-level stress can affect attention and memory, because when your brain is focused on survival, it doesn't prioritize remembering where you left your glasses or what you wanted to say. Stress hormones pull resources away from concentration, which means your thoughts become fragmented. You start forgetting simple things, not because your brain is failing, but because it's overloaded, and the overload builds slowly. Many people don't even recognize it. They simply assume, I'm getting old, when in reality, their mind is exhausted. Poor sleep may be the hidden culprit. Sleep is when your brain cleans and organizes memories. But after 50, sleep often changes. You may wake up more frequently, need to use the bathroom, struggle with insomnia, or wake up feeling tired despite spending enough hours in bed. Without deep sleep, memories don't get processed properly, and concentration suffers the next day. You may notice losing your train of thought, forgetting appointments, searching for simple words, feeling mentally foggy, becoming easily distracted. And because these symptoms overlap with memory concerns, many people fear the worst. But sometimes the problem isn't your memory, it's your sleep. Improving sleep quality can make a remarkable difference in mental clarity. Multitasking is overloading your attention. Modern life constantly pulls our attention in multiple directions. The TV is on, your phone buzzes, someone asks a question, you're thinking about dinner, and suddenly, you forget what you were saying. This isn't necessarily memory loss. It's interrupted attention. Because memories begin with focus. If your attention is divided, your brain never properly stores the information in the first place. Imagine trying to save a document while repeatedly unplugging the computer. Eventually, the file doesn't save. The same thing happens in the brain. Distraction creates forgetfulness. And after 50, the brain becomes less efficient at switching rapidly between tasks, which means multitasking costs more mental energy than it used to. Brain fog is not normal aging. Many people say, I'm just getting older. But constant brain fog shouldn't simply be accepted. Mental cloudiness can have many causes, including dehydration, vitamin deficiencies, medication side effects, thyroid problems, depression, anxiety, sleep apnea, chronic inflammation, blood sugar fluctuations. Sometimes correcting one hidden issue dramatically improves memory and concentration. That's why persistent brain fog deserves attention, not panic. Attention, because your brain may be asking for help, not signaling permanent decline. The more you panic, the more you forget. Fear creates a vicious cycle. You forget something. You become anxious. The anxiety increases stress hormones. Stress disrupts attention. You forget more. And then your fear grows stronger. Soon, every small memory lapse feels catastrophic. Researchers have found that anxiety itself can interfere with memory retrieval, which means stress can temporarily make your brain feel much worse than it actually is. This is why reassurance matters, and why self-criticism only makes things harder. You are not helping your brain by constantly telling yourself, I'm losing it, because your brain listens. Ou anxieuse, stress follows. Your brain needs recovery, not constant stimulation. Many people spend every waking hour consuming information, news, social media, television, notifications, videos, emails. But the brain needs quiet moments. Without pause, mental fatigue accumulates. Think of your brain like a battery. Even the best batteries need recharging. Small moments of rest can make a huge difference. Simple activities help. Walking outside, sitting quietly, listening to music, deep breathing, gardening, reading, spending time with loved ones. These moments reduce stress and help restore mental clarity. Sometimes the brain isn't failing. It's simply tired. Movement helps the memory. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain. It supports memory centers, improves mood, reduces stress, and helps protect cognitive function. You don't need intense exercise. Even moderate movement helps. Walking, swimming, stretching, dancing, cycling. Research consistently shows that people who stay active often experience better cognitive performance as they age. Movement isn't just good for the body, it's nourishment for the brain, and it's never too late to start. Social connection matters more than you think. Isolation affects brain health. Humans are social creatures. Conversations challenge memory, stimulate attention, and keep the mind engaged. Simple interactions matter. Talking with friends, calling family, joining community groups, volunteering, sharing stories, laughing. These experiences activate multiple areas of the brain, and they remind us that healthy aging isn't only physical, it's emotional too. Loneliness can quietly increase mental fatigue. Connection often brings clarity. When should you talk to a doctor? Occasional forgetfulness is common, but certain changes deserve medical attention, especially if memory problems are getting rapidly worse. You repeatedly forget familiar people or places. You struggle with daily tasks. Others notice significant changes. You become confused frequently. You have trouble managing finances or medications. Personality changes are occurring. Early evaluation doesn't mean something terrible is happening. In fact, many causes of memory problems are treatable, and getting answers often brings peace of mind. Small habits that support a sharper mind. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. Small changes matter. Try these habits. Stay hydrated. Even mild dehydration affects concentration. Prioritize sleep. Protect your brain's nightly repair process. Reduce stress. Your mind performs better when it feels safe. Stay physically active. Movement supports blood flow and brain health. Eat nourishing foods. Healthy fats, fruits, vegetables, and proteins support cognitive function. Challenge your mind. Read, learn, play games. Stay curious. Slow down. Not everything needs to happen immediately. Sometimes your brain simply needs a few extra seconds, and that's okay. If you keep losing your train of thought after 50, watch this message again. A slower thought doesn't necessarily mean a failing brain. A forgotten word doesn't automatically mean dementia. And needing an extra moment to remember something doesn't mean you're losing yourself. Many adults over 50 experience these moments, often because of stress, poor sleep, brain fog, mental overload, or simply the natural changes that come with aging. Your brain may not be broken. It may just be asking for rest, support, and patience. So the next time you lose your train of thought, try not to panic. Pause. Take a breath. Give your mind a moment. Because more often than not, the thought isn't gone. It's simply taking a little longer to find its way back. If this video helped ease some of your concerns, don't forget to subscribe to Vitality Path 50 Plus for more simple, caring, and science-backed conversations about healthy aging, memory, and keeping your mind sharp after 50.
Before we conclude, a quick reminder. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this channel. Your health is your most valuable asset. Treat it with the professional care it deserves.